I seen that you're very pro-Israel. I don't see why you're really defending them when it's kind of obvious they did 9/11.
Okay.
ISIS is Israel.
It's so stupid.
Why is it that ISIS never attacks Israel?
You're aware that
Alright.
ISIS has attacked
I
Israel.
feel like you gotta bring on like a smarter conspiracy theorist. He's just sitting here info dumping a bunch of that he's heard on Twitter.
Bro, it's a psyop, bro. Just like October 7th, they killed their own citizens on October 7th. They even admitted it. So what are you talking about?
What?
What about Epstein, bro? We all know Israel's connected to Epstein.
Why? What?
Why did Russia invade Ukraine?
Israel.
Russia, Ukraine, also Israel. What has Israel not done?
How many Jews died in the Holocaust?
Great question.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. This guy himself is atrocious for the Palestinian cause. I'll say that. All right, this just happened, but I'm still gonna look at it. Apparently, LonerBox debated that dating money 101 guy. I think that was the. I mean, I'm not even really gonna call him like a Hasan supporter or something, but like he was like kind of a Hasan fan, and you know, that's the guy, the weird unhinged Hasan fan. But you know what? There are weird unhinged Hasan fans. There are weird unhinged LonerBox fans. There are weird unhinged Ethan Klein fans, and then there are people who don't have hot mom hats. So let's just get this going.
Oh, there we go. Let me see if I'm live. Okay, I am live. So how's it going, man?
Where are you streaming?
Kick?
I'm streaming it at my house.
Incredible. Definitely what he meant when he asked that question, for sure. That's definitely what he was asking. Where are you streaming? Oh, I'm at my house. Oh, okay, cool.
No, are you streaming on Twitch, Kick, YouTube?
Oh yeah, Twitch, Kick, everything.
Wow.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, come on, dude.
I was just asking. Wasn't sure where you were.
It's 8 a.m., bro, in America, bro.
Yeah. Did you have to get up earlier than you usually do?
I didn't even get to work out. I didn't get to,
Damn.
eat healthy. I didn't get to do any of that. I just woke up and started streaming.
Whoa. Well, I
Did you say whoa? Whoa. That's impressive, dude. Are you really dedicated to the grind that hard?
appreciate the effort. I know you said you wanted to debate. I don't really know what about, so
Well,
What do you wanna talk about?
what do you usually? I always see you. What do you like to talk about?
Why would you want to debate this guy if he doesn't even know what he talks about? Like, not LonerBox, like this other guy. Why you didn't come in with like an idea in mind? What?
usually if someone asks me to debate, I assume they have some kind of contention with me, and then I just ask them what it is, and then they tell me, and then we go. So I'll debate whatever someone disagrees with me on usually.
Okay, so I think it would be interesting to start off with the whole Israel-Palestine thing.
That's honestly sounds the least interesting thing you could ever talk about. I don't know. I'm not trying to be fucking rude, but is that really that interesting? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting how bad I am at this game right now.
Okay, so I seen that you're very pro-Israel, and
Okay.
I don't think that's right.
Cool. I feel like the Israel-Palestine conversation has gotten such a stupid asshole conversation. You know? What are we really debating here? Israel has the right to exist, but it shouldn't be fucking, oppressing people in Gaza. Okay, cool. It's not the hottest take in the world. It's like, what do you want me to tell you?
Well, I want both groups to have their states, respectively. I like people who respect the human rights and dignity of the other group, and I don't like people who want to just take all the land for themselves, because if you do that, you're just going to have this endless fight until one group wipes the other one off the face of the earth. And chances are, if
yeah, that makes sense. And chances are it'll probably be Israel wiping Gaza off the earth.
we'd go down that road, Israel will win. So I don't really want that to happen either. So,
Yeah, cool.
Do you disagree with any of that?
I mean, Palestine, Israel is just a new country. It just started in 1948.
Cool. It's great. What does that matter? Yeah, the land. Listen, I mean, who cares? I mean, the land was given to Jews after they were genocided by Britain, and you can criticize that, displace people. Absolutely, we should rectify that. They've created a country, especially in an area that's very anti-Semitic. I'm not saying that Arabic people are inherently anti-Semitic, but religion is a very big divider. and the Christianity and Judaism very close proximity to each other because they come from like the same Bible. Religion of Islam is not in very close proximity, so there's contention there. A lot of it's religious. A lot of the problems we have in the world are religious, and so a lot of Jews flocked to Israel because there was religious persecution in other countries. And now there's nowhere for Jewish people to go. What are we going to do? Just Israel's gone, and all these Jews go back home and get like persecuted? No, it makes sense they'd want like an ethno state. It doesn't justify the behavior in Gaza, but like it's okay. It's a new state. It was created in a time where taking land from people was acceptable, and we are where we are. Where do the Jews go? There's no actual safe solution for the Jews.
Palestine, the people been there, and actually, I'm actually Palestinian. I have more Jewish DNA than an Israeli. Oh,
okay, I'm dying again because I'm just dying.
How many? So first of all, how old does a country have to be before it's legitimate? Israel is older than most UN member states at this point.
I have more Jewish DNA than an actual Israeli.
Okay, but first of all, yeah. So that's
what does that matter? What does it matter that you're ethnically Jewish?
That's fine, but you said it's a new country. I mean, lots of countries are new, right? Like most countries in the world.
I mean, in America, it's a new country too. If you really want to break it down to it,
came after 1948 into the UN, so we can move past that one and talk about DNA. Most Israeli Jews are from the Middle East. Like they've mostly got like only Jewish DNA, or like barely, or mostly. So,
like I said, I have more DNA than an actual Israeli. I have more Jewish DNA. Which means,
what does that mean, though? What does this mean?
It means that
like the average Israeli, or
they converted to Judaism, or they converted from Judaism to Islam or Christianity. So that's what happened.
Some of them did. Some of them stayed Jews, and they got scattered around the Middle East and Europe. Yeah, some of them got taken by the Romans to Italy as slaves. Some of them went to Egypt. Some of them went to Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Syria, Lebanon, and they ended up back in Israel after 48. So, what's the point about DNA?
What's the point about DNA?
Yeah, do we think
because
countries should be?
That's their whole claim to the state of Israel is that that's their land, when it's really they're not even native to that land.
I mean, some of them will say.
I mean, I guess there was like a historic 2,000 years ago, but okay. Is that like, I mean, I just feel like, okay, is that part of the claim? I think it's more about like setting up a Jewish state because they're oppressed around the world and wanting a safe place to be.
That, and as far as native goes, I mean, there was once upon a time a kingdom of Israel, like 2,000 years ago. So you might disagree with that. I think the more plausible argument for why Israelis belong there now is because that's where most of them were born. Like, people move around the world because of wars and because of conquest and because of being victims of wars and genocides and everything like that all the time. But we generally don't, say with Europe, try to just return everyone to their original spot. Because when we did try to do that in the past, you had endless wars. You had World War II, right? But now there are Russians who live in Eastern Europe, like in the Baltic states. There are Germans who live in places like Poland. There are Poles who live in Germany. There are borders that are not perfect. In the Balkans, there are like Serbs living in Croatia, Croats living in Serbia. There are Serbs living in Kosovo. But generally, we tend to agree that trying to restore all these borders to some kind of like original DNA spot or whatever only ends with people fighting forever. So I don't know what the point is in that.
Well, aside from that, the state of Israel today, they don't only want, Palestine. They don't only want the West Bank and, Gaza. That's not their only goal. They want to create the greater Israel map, okay?
I don't know what any of this means. I mean, I don't even know how much true this is. It's weird. You're saying they're trying to like land conquer other places? Have we seen that? Has Israel pushed into other countries, or are they just trying to claim every area that would be, I guess, historically Israeli?
They want Syria, they want Lebanon, and they want parts of Saudi Arabia, parts of Kuwait. That's their goal. They publicly stated.
Do all of them want that, or do some people want that?
Is that the whole country, or is that far-right extremists? Like, where are we going? Because even in America right now, we're like, we want Greenland, we want Canada. Because those are far-right-wing fucking morons. How popular is this?
Is this a minority of them? Is this the government? Is this the population in general?
the government, and the government's running the show. They play charades.
You think the government wants to conquer parts of Egypt and Saudi Arabia?
Aside from that, I honestly, the real reason why I don't see why you're really defending them when it's kind of obvious they did 9/11.
Okay. Now I understand. Now I understand. Okay. Now I understand, bud. Now I understand where we're coming from here.
You know, it's pretty.
I mean, we can stick to one topic or another. Let's start with.
All right. Well, it seems like a lot of Israeli sentiment always boils back down. Boils back down to some kind of just crazy anti-Semitic theory.
Let's just stay on the greater
Why
Israel
don't you
map.
There, because you know the debate ends right there.
No, let's just start with the greater Israel.
I mean, to an extent, the debate does end right there. Because, like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? You know?
We can go into 9/11 if you want. Why does Israel? Do you think Israel wants to conquer parts of Egypt right now? This government.
They want to, of course.
Why did they give the Sinai? Why did they give the Sinai Desert back after 73? They gave it back in 79. They took all the settlers out of Sinai. Why did they do that?
I just don't see why we can't go to the 9/11 part.
It sounds like he just wants to like do like a weird, unhinged, anti-Semitic conspiracy theory dump onto this guy that roll on to something next. Oh, they want to take over other countries. Oh, okay. Then how come they've conceded land before? Oh, I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm also not trying to sit here and have a fucking debate about how Jews run the world and they're destroying everything like this guy wants to because he's anti-Semitic.
Well, because you claim they want the greater Israel map, and now you've struggled to answer why they left Sinai, and now you want to move on to 9/11. So I'm like, why? Surely it would matter to ask why are they leaving these places that they used to occupy, but now they don't? Why did they leave these places and make peace with these countries if they want their land?
What about the USS Liberty? Are you gonna? How do you feel about that? They attacked.
Stop! Why are you dodging the question about the map? You were very convinced in the greater Israel map, but now you can't even explain why Israel left Egypt.
Why did Israel leave Egypt? Because they lost. Egypt lost the war. They lost the 7-day war.
No, why did Israel leave Egypt? Why did Israel give the Sinai back if they want to conquer it?
There's nothing in the Sinai. What do they need the Sinai for? They're going to take it again.
They had 5,000 settlers. Oh, so they left it so they can come and get it again? Why would they not just stay there and keep their settlers there if they want to conquer it?
They didn't have them. They just like it's a useless piece of land, and they didn't have the there was just no need for it at that point. There's no need for that.
There's nothing useful. There's nothing useful in the Sinai. There's nothing useful in the Sinai.
I mean, it's just aside from that, it's just a military tactic. Okay,
wait. There's nothing useful in the Sinai. What's on the western edge of the Sinai Desert?
I have no idea.
Oh, ISIS is Israel. Okay.
This is actually so stupid.
Because why is it that ISIS never attacks Israel?
You're aware that ISIS has attacked Israel.
I feel like you gotta bring on like a smarter conspiracy theorist than this guy. He's just sitting here like info dumping a bunch of shit that he's heard before about that he's heard on Twitter about how Jews are running the world and destroying everything, and he's just an unhinged freak that just hates Jews. He doesn't care about Palestinian people. That's what this is.
They've claimed attacks in Israel. They've claimed a stabbing attack in Jerusalem. Yes, they have claimed attacks in Israel. That's complete bullshit that they've never attacked Israel.
They don't, actually. Notoriously, they don't. Maybe they have a few attacks here and there.
Yeah,
but
why would they be few? Why would there be not that many? Why would there not be that many Palestinians who join ISIS?
How is it that a Muslim organization doesn't have any feelings towards Jerusalem, towards the people of Palestine? How is it that you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any.
I don't know what you're saying. Well, it just sounds like it sounds like what you're saying is that it makes sense for a Muslim organization to not like Jews, and you're like, why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't there? That sounds like you're like admitting anti-Semitism. No, oh my god,
any sense? Okay,
well,
we already know that
they do. ISIS has been connected to terror attacks in Hadera in 2022. They've been connected. They've claimed responsibility for the attack in Israel in Jerusalem. So yeah, ISIS have attacked and claimed responsibility in Jerusalem. Yes, they have done this.
Okay. It sounds like this guy is expressing this concept that that there is a lot of anti-Semitism inside of different Muslim communities or Arabic countries, like different Arabic communities, and he's questioning why there's not as many attacks from ISIS onto Israel because of that. Okay.
I don't know why you're saying they haven't.
I'm pretty sure we can look this up, but one of the leaders of ISIS,
I feel like you should have looked that up already, no?
the one of the founders, he was pretty much Israeli.
Are you sure?
So yeah.
Okay. Why did they attack Israel then?
Bro, it's a psyop, bro. Just like October.
The Jews created their own enemies. Dude, that's what it is. It's a psyop. The Jews make their own. This guy's saying that the Jews made their own enemies so they could justify attacking other people. That's fucking crazy. Holy fuck. Now I could see. He's definitely is a fan of Hasan. He's definitely a fan of Hasan Parker. This is the type of rhetoric that like is acceptable in like Hasan's community, though, right? Like we understand this. This is for sure that type of rhetoric. Because like Hasan won't even acknowledge that there was anti-Semitism in the Middle East that pushed Jews to flee to Israel in the first place.
October 7th, how they did they killed their own citizens on October 7th. They even admitted it. So what are you talking about?
What? What the fuck is this guy on about?
How many of Israel's own citizens? Well, first of all, do you acknowledge now that you've completely given up on the Greater Israel map argument, and now you've bounced over to ISIS, and now you couldn't defend that, and now you're bouncing over to October 7th?
Wait, can you deny that Israel didn't admit
What the hell's happening here?
that they killed their own people on October 7th?
How many?
I mean, they didn't.
How many of their own people did they kill?
Most.
No, they never said. Who
know,
said most?
But they admitted.
How much did they admit to?
I didn't say.
Dude,
They
what's
admitted
happening?
that they did though.
How many?
It's called the Hannibal. What is it called? The Hannibal what?
The Hannibal Directive. How many did Israel kill of their own people on October 7th? You can ask the UN if you don't like the IDF.
At least 700. I think they killed at least 700.
According to who? The UN didn't say that. The UN said barely 20. Israel said like 10, 15.
What did they end up killing some of their own citizens and like cross? I don't. What happened there?
But who said 700? Where'd you get that from?
I would have 700.
But from you, just divine revelation. Why do you think 700? I thought you appealed to Israel's admission. Their admission was less than 20.
I mean, I'm curious about this now. All right, so apparently there was like accidental tank fire on some Israeli individuals. I mean, that's bad, but okay.
Well, can we go to 9/11 now? Because
they fired a tank on buildings that had Hamas terrorists. Oh, were they hiding in like under like in? Okay, I guess that makes sense then.
Did Hamas not literally like film? Did Hamas not like film themselves just gunning down people on October 7th and publish it? They did that.
What about Epstein, bro? What about Epstein? Why are you like? We all know Israel's connected to Epstein.
What about?
Why? What?
Savile. Yeah, countries are connected to powerful people. What about Trump?
You want to go to Epstein?
Is Trump connected to Epstein?
Yeah.
Is he saying that? Is he trying to say that Israel set up an entire network of child molestation or something? Aren't there certain countries in the Middle East that allow child marriage still? Isn't that like a huge thing? Again, this isn't something that's inherent to Arabic people, but I mean, I don't really. It's kind of tough to be like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein's bad when you have very acceptable child marriage in your country. I feel like those two things are horrifically abusive. It's like literally always abusive. Okay.
He did have connections with Epstein.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no more child marriage in Israel, but it's fairly acceptable practice in Middle East, other Arabic countries. Again, not inherent to Arabic people. A lot of it is very religious, a close religious affiliation, but kind of hard to virtue signal about how bad Jeffrey Epstein is. By the way, he is when, you know, you got that kind of practice going on. So.
Yeah.
Don't quite a lot of powerful people have had connections to Epstein?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blackmail.
Would you describe yourself?
Which blackmail are you referring to?
As anti-Semitic?
I wouldn't, but
okay.
Well, yeah, he obviously hates Jewish people.
I would. I'm a realist. I'm Muslim, bro. I'm not supposed to hate Jews. I'm not supposed to hate Christians. But
So you're not Jew, you're not anti-Semitic. You're not a Jew hater.
I'm not.
Okay. Do you But you think Epstein, like, who's it? Who controls Epstein? Who controlled him?
Israel.
Okay. Israel did
Okay, well, that's a conspiracy theory.
9/11 as well, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? Who did that?
Israel.
Okay. Oh Lord! All right, incredible. Like everything. Russia, Ukraine, also Israel. What has Israel not done? According to this guy, Israel's super oppressive.
How many Jews died in the Holocaust?
They want.
Great question.
I would.
I
I don't know, bro. But
I don't know, dude. Holy fuck. You don't know?
I mean, I just don't like.
What do you
Why
mean you
can't we
don't
just have a
know?
conversation?
You know, you seem to care a lot about Zionists and Jews, and you don't want, and you're not supposed to hate
I mean,
them because you're a Muslim. Well,
you
how
just
many
trying to
Jews died in
bait
the
me at this
Holocaust?
point.
Hmm?
How many Jews? I mean, right now it seems pretty. Everyone's debating it online, man.
No, they're not.
Putting out.
Everybody? You idiots? Fucking weird red pill freaks? Yeah, that's everybody.
I mean, people. I don't care what people online are saying. What do historians agree that how many Jews died in the Holocaust?
I believe the Red Cross. The Red Cross said 200,000.
The Red Cross
What?
gave fucking the Red. Okay, first, what did the Red?
The Red Cross said 200,000? I tried looking this up. I don't even know what he's referring to.
Red Cross say? I'm just
Red
curious
Cross
how you
is
know
bad.
this.
They said 200,000.
Yeah, the Red Cross actually famously performed quite badly when they were saying what was happening during the Holocaust. Yes, during.
Also, Red Cross is anti-Semitic.
No, they're not.
I mean, they might have been at one point. There was a lot of anti-Semitism back in the day. There still is.
Anti-Semitic, but at the time, yes, because of like repressed information, because they didn't have access to all the documents, because a lot of the crimes were hidden and not discovered until later. Yeah, the Red Cross were not like definitive. I'm talking about after the Holocaust ended and after the war. They sent historians all over the place to look at census data. They looked at the camps. They looked at Nazi documents. They looked at Jewish populations before and afterwards. What are you? But why do you believe the Red Cross over them?
I believe the Red Cross because the Red Cross. You want me to trust Israel over the Red Cross?
I didn't say Israel. Did I say Israel? I said historians. I said from all over Europe. These were European historians. These were people. These were historians from countries that didn't want Jews to come to their countries after the war.
People
So
need to pay attention in history class. Well, that's the thing is that like they don't. People like this don't care. They don't really care about what like the actual historical data says about how like Jews were Holocausted. He literally said in this conversation that he thinks that the Jews attacked themselves on on October 7th so that they could justify attacking Gaza. So this guy doesn't care. He probably thinks he might have even said it in this, but he probably thinks that the Jews holocausted themselves to create a victim narrative. Like this is the kind of person that this guy is. Like every bad thing that happens to Israel is because they wanted it to happen so they could pretend to be victims. That's what he's saying. He's a Hamas supporter that won't acknowledge that Hamas will literally hide their own civilians or will hide under civilian infrastructure so that their own civilians die so that they can, run bullshit. Or excuse me, he won't acknowledge that Hamas like wants Palestinians to die. That's why Palestinians are like the ultimate victims of both Hamas and fucking, the Israeli government. But he won't acknowledge that. But he'll pretend that like Israel is like attacking themselves so that they can justify attacking other people. Like that's his whole narrative.
Oh, you think these guys were pro-Jew or pro-Israel?
I mean, yeah, they got money from the Jewish bankers.
Why would they lie? So you think the Europeans and all these historians, all these governments, you think they lied, but the Red Cross were going to go with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you get Zionist
So
money, then
maybe I'll just ask you the
that.
question again then, because you dodged it and appealed to the Red Cross. But I'm just asking you what you think. How many Jews died in the Holocaust?
I would say the Red Cross 200,000. That's the official.
So you think the official?
That's the official statement. That is not the official statement.
So you think that 200,000 Jews died in the Holocaust?
Yeah.
So you deny that there are literally Nazi documents You deny that there are Nazi
I'm not denying
documents
this.
that say there were more than 200,000 who died in like single
I'm not
camps.
denying the Holocaust. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I am saying I don't think the number was 6 million.
Well, downplaying is a
number was
problem, isn't
So like, what's the number then? Like 5,999,000. What's the number? Why is it so important to you that you downplay it?
it? If I said that only 10,000 Palestinians were expelled in the Nakba, that would be a problem, right?
Well, I mean, it's you could say what you want. It's your opinion, you know.
Yeah, but there's actual data on this, so I feel like that would probably take precedent on it, right? No?
Yeah, but are all opinions good? Or can we not critique some opinions?
You can. That's why we're having this debate, man.
Yeah.
You know, and as an American, after all these things that, you know, Israel has notoriously done, I don't think it's pretty American to stand with Israel at
Well, I'm
all.
not American, but in
And
any case,
at
I'm
this
just asking you.
Yeah,
So,
no,
do you think-
that is fair and you know, that's definitely fair that we should be more policing of Israel, but it is generally very American to support other Western countries that have Western values. So
you're not American.
No,
You're Canadian.
no.
yeah, where is he from? He has an interesting accent.
I'm Scottish Lebanese.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Oh wow, you're Lebanese. Wow,
Half.
and you're
F or 8%? That's very important. LonerBox, answer the question right now.
you're pro-Israel.
I think Israel has a right to exist. I don't know if I'm pro any particular country. I just want these countries to have their right to exist and be safe and secure and live in peace.
Completely boxed in.
And
That's
I don't
awesome.
like Iran-backed shitheads
What's
in
your-
Lebanon launching fucking attacks at Israel and then crying like little fucking bitches when Israel hits back. Yeah, I don't like
What's your
that because it doesn't seem to help anyone, does it?
What's
Do you
your
think
opinion
Hezbollah
about
helped
Jews
Lebanon?
getting-
Do you think Hezbollah's attacks in Israel helped Lebanon in the last year or made it worse?
Hezbollah's attacked on Israel?
Yeah, when Hezbollah attacked Israel since October 8th until the end of the year, do you
Israel
think
started everything.
do you think Hezbollah's
Israel
attacks
started
on
everything.
well, Hezbollah were firing rockets on the 8th at Israeli
False
positions.
flags. October 7th was a false flag operation, man.
Why
And,
did
you
okay?
know, honestly,
okay,
just
so wait, if October
believe-
if you think October 7th was a false flag, then why did Hezbollah attack Israel afterwards? Like they fell for it, like they're idiots?
That was
Okay.
a false flag as well.
You think Hezbollah firing at Israel was
No, you don't understand, LonerBox. Okay, they fired the rockets at themselves, dude. You don't understand. Everything is just them doing everything. They created every terrorist organization. They done all the bad things that ever happened in Israel. That's what this guy's position is. He's a fucking psychotic conspiracy theorist. That is his entire position. He's insane.
a false flag?
Yes.
Why did they go out
bro.
and make statements saying that they were firing rockets at Israel?
Oh, Israel notoriously.
Why did
does false
Nasrallah go on
flags, bro.
TV? Did Israel force Nasrallah to go on TV and say, "Yeah, we're firing rockets at Israel. We stand with the Palestinians"? On the 8th?
The false flag is allowing it for it to happen.
So is Hasan
have
Nasrallah
the
a false
technology.
flag?
They have the technology to stop these attacks from happening.
They have the
but just
technology
don't
to
use
stop
it.
most of them, not all of them.
Well,
What's the argument now? Because they have technology that stops the attacks? It's okay that the attacks happened? Is that the argument now?
October 7th was a complete shit show. That should
Yeah,
have never
the
happened
Israelis
at all.
failed. So I'm just asking you, do you think Hezbollah's attacks on Israel after October 7th helped Lebanon or hurt them?
I think it was a purposely fail. They failed on purpose.
You think Hezbollah failed on
It was a false
purpose?
flag.
Okay, that's kind of fucking stupid,
No,
isn't it? Why would they
October
fail on purpose and let Lebanon get bombed to shit?
October
Like
7th.
what?
7th, October 7th.
I'm not asking you about October 7th. I'm asking you about October 8th with Hezbollah.
Yeah, they let that first attack happen, and then after, you know, they tried to deflect them and blah blah.
Why
blah.
did Hezbollah
That's
do the
it.
first attack?
And blah, blah, blah. Wow. Incredible. Well, you guys are saying that this is the typical Hasan fan, but no, it's not. He's an actual adult, right? Most of them are children.
Was that a good idea?
Because they are because of October 7th happened.
So
Mm,
Hezbollah
yeah,
chose
they-
to attack Israel
Oh,
on after October 7th, yes.
Defend-
Was that a good idea or a bad one? Is Lebanon better off for them doing that or worse off?
They They were trying to protect Palestinians from Israel.
How? How does launching rockets up at the north protect Palestinians? How does launching rockets at Israeli villages help Palestinians?
Are you okay with Israel bombing innocent civilians?
No, but I don't understand why Hezbollah firing rockets at the north of Israel is supposed to help. Did it help Palestinians?
Okay, wait.
Did it save
aside
anyone?
from that, let's.
Did it save
Are
anyone?
you
Don't be a coward.
you
Did it help? Did it
aware-
save anyone?
I mean, if he wants to just say like, "Hey, they wanted to join in against Israel," like whatever, that's fine. But his entire narrative is that Israel's basically attacking themselves, as like just unhinged conspiracy fucking nonsense. That's true. This guy has more balls than Hasan. This guy does have more because he actually will debate LonerBox.
I just feel like you're probably a propaganda. Probably get paid by Israel
anyone
at this point.
Did it save anyone?
Can I ask how much Israel pays you?
Did Hezbollah's
Okay. That's so stupid. People like this are so fucking dumb.
attacks on Israel save anyone?
How come you don't use your face?
Do you see why? Because I'm streaming on my end.
Yeah, it can be
My camera
difficult.
only goes to one source. It goes to my
Yeah, I have the same problem.
stream, not to Discord and the stream at the same time. Did Hezbollah's attacks on Israel save anyone in Palestine or Lebanon, or did they make it worse?
Wow, that's crazy.
Do you know what I mean, though? Like, the problem is this is why I don't really understand why you get to claim that you're the one who supports Arabs when you're like, you can't even condemn an action that clearly resulted in just Arabs dying for no good reason. The only thing that happened because of Hezbollah's actions. What did I just say? Yeah, I went to the West Bank. I met Palestinians. I met people who support Hamas. Did you know that? No, you didn't, because you just saw screenshots. That's all you saw.
You went to an Israeli. You went to a settler.
Yes, I met both groups. I met settlers. I met Palestinians. I also went to Kalandia. Is Kalandia a settlement?
Why would you, so if you're in favor of a two-state solution, why would you go to settlers? Why would you meet settlers on the West Bank? That's because, like, so.
Why did Louis?
Well, isn't it him just trying to do some kind of on-the-ground investigative research and trying to like get a feel of what's going on in Israel and Palestine?
Theroux meets settlers on the West Bank. Does he think he supports them? Do I have to support someone to interview them?
What's an interview, dude? Well, the problem with LonerBox is that he thinks that he does on the ground investigations, but he's not on Twitter. He's not sitting on Twitter, just taking whatever is on there as fact. And that's really how you do investigative research, is you just go on Twitter, right? Like, we already know that for a fact. We saw our buddy Hasan Parker. That's what he does. And that's how, like, the real way that you do activism. Duh.
I mean, it's
an unverified Twitter source said something. Oh fuck!
You have to support someone to interview them.
The interview. Can I ask? I didn't watch the interview, but were you?
So you didn't even watch the interview. Do you support me because you're talking to me because you asked me for a conversation?
I didn't even. I just seen that you were friends with Ethan. I was like, man, why is this guy friends with Ethan, man? Doesn't make no sense.
I know. I'm sure the people in the middle.
So you saw that he was friends with Ethan, and then you decided, instead of like to look into anything, you're just like, let me come in, and I weirdly have a performative intro of like, oh hey, what do you want to talk about? But then go right to what you actually want to talk. It's just so strange. What a weird guy.
At least are really struggling with that fact.
This guy himself is atrocious for the Palestinian cause. I'll say that. Anybody who watches this is going to look at this and go like, "Oh, these people are fucking stupid." Like the people that, claim to care about Palestine online, they don't seem to have any like intelligible thought. I don't know, man. Maybe it's one of those things where you should just know what you don't know. That's how I feel. I know what I don't know. I don't know when I don't know. I know when I don't know. I'm trying to use words. Very complicated. Sorry, guys.
I'm sure my Lebanese family are like really struggling to cope with the fact that I talked to Ethan Klein. It's almost as if they got better things to worry about, you know?
You don't think they're...
You think that maybe they have... You know what they probably do need to worry about is dating and money advice. It's probably like really big for them to think about. So...
About that, I'm pretty sure they're pretty mad.
That's annoying.
Yeah? Why? Do you think everyone in Lebanon supports Hezbollah?
Everyone doesn't support Ethan.
Okay, great commentary, man.
Do you think the people in Lebanon, do you think all of them support Hezbollah?
Man. regardless,
Why did they elect a president who's against them?
Can we have another conversation? Can we talk about
Can we talk about some unhinged Jewish conspiracy? Let's see.
But you're literally like flopping on every like. What's your goal
Do you want to
here?
talk about
What do you think you're doing? What's the goal?
Do you want to
here?
talk about the
Like, are you trying to be like a pro-Palestine advocate? You don't know anything about the conflict. Are you trying to be like a dating coach? I don't know what Palestine has to do with that. Like, what are you trying to achieve here? You're asking me about interviews that you never watched. Like, what's the point?
You want to talk about my dating coach? I mean, I'm pro headscarves, bro, and so that's what I'm all about, bro.
Good for you.
I believe that hijabs, they make the women more holy, and they make the relationship stronger. So that's
okay. Why would you need a dating money coach? Or like, why would you need a dating money coach in like here though? Isn't there like a lot of arranged marriages? What? What does a hijab have to do with anything? I don't know.
What I'm advocating in America. Like I believe that we should be pro headscarves in America.
Like,
I mean, listen, if you want to wear a headscarf or hijab or whatever, I think it's a beautiful thing. You do you. What does that have to do with anything?
My goal.
Everyone should wear them, or only people who want to.
Your dating advice is women should wear hijabs. Isn't your advice supposed to be for men? Okay. How does this help? How does this help young men? Just curious.
Don't think it should be mandatory.
Hey guys, here's my dating advice for young men. Women need to change. That unironically is what like pretty much all the red pill is. If you want to get women, they have to change. Like, oh, okay, that's productive.
But I think we should embrace them and encourage people to wear them.
How many people want to? Why not?
I think. Yeah, so I think that's my goal.
Would you ever date someone who's not hijabi?
I've been using them for thousands of years. I have, but I just
I don't know, man. If I've been using the same hat for thousands of years, I think I'd change my hat.
If I want to have a serious relationship, I definitely want a hijabi.
So why?
Oh, so then why don't you just go find that?
Why did you date? So if you're dating someone who's not a hijabi, like, why do you do that?
I mean, well, why do you date? You don't date?
Yeah.
Well, you're saying that you like this one type of person, so why aren't you dating them if that's what you like? Doesn't make any sense.
Not Muslim.
I grew up in America. I'm not the most best Muslim. I try my best, but
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're dating someone who's not hijabi, do you try to convince them to wear a hijab?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would try, but no.
You try?
Right.
Yeah. This guy seems to have a terminal brain disease here or something.
You're in LA.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's going to be extremely difficult to do that.
That's the city where all the kind of like clowns go to try and get famous, right?
That's funny. I like that. That's silly.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
Is it though?
It's very demonic here.
I would like to chat more, but honestly, I would rather open a vein. Take care, buddy. Bye.
Okay. All right. Well, that was great. That's incredible.
I'm sorry. There's a fucking waste of time. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but it was an interesting watch. It was a fun watch.